What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my hip hop songs series. I know it's been like about 2 weeks since I said I was gonna do another one. I think 2 or 3 weeks, but I was caught up with like a lot of work and stuff like that. So here's the second part. I'm gonna cover the years between 1993 and 2001. Oh, a little slight, you can call it a slight mistake. The Redman song "Time for Some Action," the single was released in '93. But I forgot the single was released in '93. I thought it was released in '92. So yeah, but I'm still going to keep it in the '92 slots or whatever. Okay, favorite hip hop song of 1993. Oh, by the way, in case you guys don't know, I'm usually going to base this off sound, impact of the culture, personal favorites, whatever. '93, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, "Let Me Ride." This is basically like one of my favorite songs off the Chronic. Definitely check. Well, I think I have to do re-review that album again because they kind of fuck some shit up. So yeah, so "Let Me Ride" definitely a classic hip hop song. It won him a Grammy back in '94. Like the reason why I put this on the list because I basically liked how whenever I think of like G Funk, whenever I think of the P Funk samples that he put, this is like one of the first songs that really comes to my mind and stuff like that. And it just fits that West Coast, that summertime vibe and shit like that. And yeah, man, what more can I say? "Let Me Ride" 1993. If you guys want to hear more, definitely gonna do a re-review on that. So 1994, Wu-Tang Clan's "Cream." No surprise there. You guys should know how much I love Wu. You guys should know how much I put 36 Chambers in such a high pedestal and stuff like that. Although, you know, although I would say Wu Tang Forever, the production was a little bit better on that one, but it's debatable in my opinion. Now the Wu Tang Clan and Black Moon. They were the rappers that was coined for celebrating the whole East Coast Renaissance. And basically, I put this song here because of the fact that it was just a signature song, and I felt like you need money in your life. Cash rules everything around me. Plus, like I like the East Coast Renaissance. The Wu Tang. Would kind of introduce like hella slang towards a lot of like hip hop circles and shit like that. And certain artists, in the East Coast was now incorporating that certain slang and shit like that. I mean, the West Coast was doing it. They were like incorporating their own slang, but the East Coast, if you listen to the infamous 36 Chambers, to Cal, like it would just take you to a whole different world and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, "Cream" definitely a classic song in my opinion. 1995, "Mobb Deep Shook Ones," Part Two. No surprise there. I felt like Shook One's Part Two was definitely not just one of the greatest hip hop songs, literally one of my favorite songs of all time. And this is like another clear example of the fact that it tells through the perspective of inner city youth in like Queens and shit like that. And just the way Prodigy was spitting on that song, like how many cats sampled Prodigy's verse or Prodigy and shit like that. Most of the samples came from this song, and it's crazy too. Although like Prodigy, he's like one of those cats that recycle lyrics. I'll be even admit that and shit like that. He was giving out hella dope quotables back in the '90s and shit like that. Fucking classic. Rest in peace, Prodigy. I can't believe it's almost about to be a year after he died. I can't believe that, but yeah. Now this is where the list is going to take a little controversial kind of turn with these upcoming selections and stuff like that. at 96, that was a very difficult year to pick a favorite song because that year was just so dark, with the whole East Coast, West Coast, and things of that nature. And like a lot of rappers, song albums was just dark and shit like that. And I mean, I'm not trying to discredit them and shit like that, but when I think about 96, I always think about one of the few albums I think about. This might surprise some people. Busta Rhymes, The Coming. And so, Woo Ha Got You All in Check. That was probably my favorite song of '96. Because it was just so abstract. It was so original. Like, that beat alone, where they flipped that, what's that sample they picked? They did it from the movie, I think. But just everything about that whole song. And the video, too, the Hype Williams produced video, directed video, as I should say, was amazing. Like that was like really one of Hype's best videos, and that was like really. I felt like whenever he worked with Busta and Missy Elliott, like his career, his video directing career just skyrocketed in my opinion. So, I mean, he's already though because he directed for Biggie and whatnot, but when he was working with Busta, Hype was working with Busta and shit. It was just like bread and butter, in my opinion. But Woo-Ha Got You All in Check, definitely a classic. Then we have Triumph, '97. Wu-Tang Clan's Triumph. Um, Again with the Wu-Tang Clan, and I kind of said like Wu-Tang Forever. The production was better on that album because let me tell y'all something about that album because I know how you guys like to talk about Kanye West, Just Blaze doing the whole Chipmunk Soul, but RZA was doing this shit way back in '97. Like that whole album, Wu Tang Forever, was just banger after banger after banger and shit. So it is what it is. And the fact that it came out in '97, it didn't have no chorus, yet it was still a successful joint. I think it peaked at I think number one, I believe. Let me double check. But yeah, while I'm talking, it's just like, and it's one thing I loved about the Wu Tang because they were just so original and so authentic, and they just had their own sound, and I felt like it pains me what the group is going through now, like with the whole bullshit with the RZA. But yeah, that's another story for a different day. But yeah, okay, so Triumph, yeah, peaked at number 6. So that's very cool. That's very cool without no chorus and nothing like that. Track number, 1998, I'm going to say is DMX, Get At Me Dog. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so DMX, Get At Me Dog. Expect a review on As Dark and Hell Is Hot sometime this month or next month. That's a very dope album. I love that album. Basically, DMX is dark and Get At Me Dog. That was like the death nail, in my opinion, to the whole shiny suit era. Like the video too, like where he's in the black and white video with the underground and shit like that. So I like that video and just the whole raw energy and stuff like that. That raw energy I loved about him. He was taking it back to the streets. It was just very cool video. Very cool song too. Yeah, classic. Track, year number 1999. Mobb Deep's Quiet Storm remix featuring Lil Kim. Yeah, man, Mobb Deep is back on this list again. Like this remix, the Quiet Storm remix. Like I don't know, the late '90s up to the early 2000s, those had some of the best hip hop remixes at that time. and excuse me, oof. And not only was this remix, a dope party jam and shit like that, but Kim, Kim, fucking Lil Kim just went in like hot damn hole here. Like she was just going in. That's the Lil Kim that I like. That's the Lil Kim I like and shit like that. I mean, she can still spit, but we all know the story with what Lil Kim now with that. But anyway, yeah, man, like Mob Deeps, the remix and shit like that with Quiet Storm. That was a dope. That was just a classic song. Like every time that song plays on the radio, it's just people gonna go crazy. They put that song in a club, they gonna go crazy with that shit. All right, now 2000. Another remix. M.O.P. Auntie Up, the remix with Busta Rhymes, Remy Ma, and Teflon. This was like fucking Warrior. That was like their breakthrough album, kinda like their break. That's Anti Up was like a huge single back in those days. But that remix though was nuts. That remix was nuts, and it's kind of crazy because M.O.P. had like such a underground following for years and years and years that Anti Up was just in every movie at that time and shit like that. And that's one thing I have to give respect to M.O.P. because they were always the same cats and shit like that. They're always the same cats, but they never changed up the sound and shit like that. They're always the same and shit. So that's why I have to give respect to them and shit like that. They're always on that shit. And yeah, man, it's very dope remix, classic. Now, 2001. This is gonna be my controversial one to some people, but Jay-Z's "Takeover" is my favorite hip hop song of 2001. Wow, yeah, Jigga Jay-Z. The reason being because, well, let's just point out the facts that the Jay-Z and Nas beef was basically one of hip hop's best beefs of all time, and a lot of people say that that beef not only revived Nas' career, but in a way, it did kind of revive Jay's career because his career was always there. Don't get me wrong, his prime was always there, but there were some people who like to say that he was not the same as he was. He was getting too commercial. So I'm definitely gonna talk about the Dynasty album, but when we talk about this whole Takeover shit, one thing I loved about Takeover as this song was just how it just builds up it just builds up, like he just started like saying take the first verse he just take over, breaks over, got MC me J Ho, like he just letting it be known that he's not here to play no games. Then that first verse when he just went after Prodigy, like that whole those bars was just amazing and shit like that. Then he got at Nas, and then that's when he started dissing Nas and shit like that. Like, and the way he structured that song is what really got to me because he had like very factual shit you can't even get mad at, like he was saying some shit like at that time he was talking about how Illmatic was what many people were saying that was his only good album because although it was written in although those albums at that time did not get like a lot of critical praise, over the years it didn't really get popular to like over the years and shit like that. Especially though, because it's like now a lot of people are trying to say how slept on that record was and shit like that. And also it's kind of crazy because he was just like he was getting at Jay-Z, that Nas, because he made that he sampled his voice a couple of times, and that line you said, that's you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. I was like, Jay was just going in at Nas, and don't get me wrong, I love Nas. I do love Nas, but like the only thing Ether, although Ether did kill Jay Z, the bars, some of like the beat on that song, I didn't really like the beat like that. It's like like I didn't really like the beat. I thought the beat was doing a bit too much. Um. Also, what else? What else? What else? It's just that lyrically, I wanted lyrically Nas was there lyrically with that song, but I wanted him to like really go at Jay and shit like that. With some dope punch like that. It was still good though. I like Ether, but Takeover was just more of a nice diss song in my opinion. And y'all can hate on me on the comments all you want. I've always felt like this when it comes to Takeover, Ether and shit. So yeah, man. Other than that, I'm definitely gonna do 2002 to 2010, maybe sometime this month. I don't know at this point. So stay tuned. Peace.